Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome via satellite live from London, Mr. Peter Sellers. Here, come on, Sellers. Here we are. Oh, that's lovely. Listen to that. Well, hello. How are you? And welcome to Australia, Peter.
Thanks, Don. Yes, I'm fine.
That's
I
good.
can hear myself.
Yes, you're getting a little echo problem there. It'll take a couple of seconds to clear it up if you are.
Right.
Right, okay. This movie being there, a very big project for you, something that you looked forward to for a long time. From what I read, the script first came into your hands in 1972, is that right?
The book, yes.
The book, yeah.
The book came into my hands in '72, and Hal Ashby had just finished making The Last Detail and Harold and Maude. I'm sure you've seen both of those films.
Right, yes.
And we became firm friends and made a pact that if ever we should be able to get hold of the property, one wouldn't make it without the other, you see. And we've been all this time trying to get it.
Well, what intrigued you so much about the character Chance? I mean, he is a pretty plain kind of character, but yet it seemed to have
It's very challenging. It's the most difficult role I've ever played, actually. Because of the credibility line, very, very knife-edge line of credibility. Because if you play him like a person who's watched TV and maybe copied the TV voices, then he wouldn't be credible to the people he was later to meet, you see, because they think he was a crank. So he's got to have something going, and perhaps gardening, of which he knows a lot, would be easily misunderstood for intellectualisms and such like. You know.
What kind of preparation did you have to put yourself through for this, Peter? I understand that you do a lot of that, getting yourself into the character and so forth. What did you have to do for this character, for Chance?
I don't know, I cut my hair very short, like old Louise the maid would have cut it for him, because he'd never been out of the house, you see. I put on quite a lot of weight because of the sedentary nature of his job, never getting out and about.
Did that worry you, putting on weight? You're always a pretty slim person.
I noticed that Robert De Niro just put 80 pounds on for a movie under the supervision of a doctor, and I agree with that, because padding never looks right. I mean, you can pad your body out and then your face doesn't look right. So I think you got to do a whole... If you see pictures of Robert De Niro recently, you never recognize him.
What did you do to put on the weight, Peter?
I just ate up a storm.
All those things that you push away from the table, perhaps, I suppose.
Yeah, all the junk food, you know, all the trash food.
Right. Yeah. Did it depress you at all? Some actors say when they have to put on weight for a part and eat the wrong things that it gets to them a little bit. They get a little bit depressed.
Yeah, well, you have to carry around a lot more weight than you're normally used to. It's like carrying 2 heavy suitcases around all the time, you know? And that, of course, is... bit of a drag, but if you consider it's for a reason that you're doing it and you just haven't let yourself lapse into it, then you can come to terms with it.
What about the voices now? I read in an article that said that you try to get the voice of the character first. A lot of other people try to get into the characters, I suppose, but you try to get the voice first because you say the rest will follow. Is that true?
Yes, that's absolutely true, Don, because I worked for years in radio, and I am used to constructing the character from the voice, and the voice tells me what the character's like, and then I add the makeup to it. Whereas other actors, I know, work the opposite way around. They dress their makeup first, and then find a voice to fit the makeup.
Well, you're doing a new film at the moment, Fu Manchu. Is that a? That's not serious. That's a send-up, isn't it? The Fu Manchu.
Well, it's a send-up. It's a sort of satire on the Sax Roma characters of the 30s. Yes, I finished that. I'm editing it now.
What kind of voice you use for Fu Manchu?
Well, he's 168 years old, so it's not really Chinese.
He's very, very quiet Chinaman. That's it.
Yes, and he used to go to, he's been to Eton. He did the laundry for them. All those white collars, you know.
Yes.
And yes, I couldn't really describe it. I'd sooner you wait and see it. And
Okay.
then the other character I play, who's Nayland Smith, is, you know, it's like a Holmes-Moriarty relationship.
Right, yeah.
And he's a sort of stalwart English bulldog breed, sort of fellow who with a fine military record, and the sort of chap you might like to have as your dad. You know, I always think of Nayland Smith that way. So that was comparatively easy, but the Chinese took up to 2 hours to do.
That's before you do a thing, you got to sit there for 2 hours and let it make you up.
Yes, that's really a harassing business. You have to take Valium and give the makeup man Valium as well. Because if anyone knocks on the door during that, everyone jumps 10 feet in the air. You have to start all over again.
Well, there always seems to be another project coming along for Peter Sellers. It doesn't matter. One thing comes after another, and each one is a surprise. Was there ever any time when you thought that perhaps you wanted to give up movies or you didn't want to do any more?
I'm always thinking that, yes. No, I think that recently, since I've become much older,
And quieter.
and quieter,
Yes, right.
that I think that you know, maybe 2 at the very most, or 1 movie a year is fine.
Do you
Because
find
otherwise the years slip by and you don't have a chance to live your life, you know.
Yeah, well, you're pretty much of a loner, so to speak. You once said that you could spend a lot of time by yourself and it didn't bother you.
Yes, I don't mind being alone at all.
What do? Don't tell me watch television. I wouldn't believe it.
No, I don't.
Well, your home is in Switzerland.
Yeah, I live in Switzerland when I'm not working.
Yes, and not in London. Is it recreational activities there, or is it just sort of a hideaway home?
Oh, it's great. It's like Berchtesgaden was for the few.
Yeah. I was there once with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can look out from my balcony and the top, and I can see the mountains.
Uh-huh.
And I have a wonderful feeling in this place, you know.
Do you give ski instructions to the young ladies?
Ski instructions and other things. Yes.
It must be very nice for you. You were born there in Switzerland, or did you come there
No,
late?
I was just taking orders. That's it.
I see what you mean now. In all of the things that I read about you, because I really wanted to be prepared for this, they said that you have a habit of picking up the character of the people around you or the people that you're talking to, that as soon as you're with someone for 5 minutes, you fall right into what they're about. Do you start talking American, for example, to Americans?
Well, depends who it is. For example, if it's somebody who has some strange quirk or something, I latch onto it very quickly and do it back to them, and they don't seem to recognize themselves. Maybe it's because they don't do it very well.
Yes.
No, I tend to become, when I'm working in America, terribly British.
Yes.
Terribly, terribly British I become in America. You know what I mean? Because, you know, most people are talking like that and all the whole thing, you know. And when we were down in North Carolina, that was a place.
Yeah.
Because they had an accent down there, I want to tell you.
Oh,
They had the Ku Klux Klan down there. You know that?
oh, I used to do the
I
laundry
never
for
seen
them.
them before. I said, God, and I said, holy mackerel, look at that. There they were with the white things over their head and the whole goddamn lot. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's still going on there. And I thought that, but you see, the people in Carolina don't consider themselves Americans.
No.
Well, at least they consider the other part of America, and they're the South.
Separate, yes.
It's like the old days.
Yeah, you mentioned about the English accent in America. I used to have a manager who, if I went over to America and I tried to get onto people, I couldn't get them on the phone. But the minute he came on with a British accent, there's an amazing thing that happens to Americans. They think every British accent is royalty.
Yes, they do, and they do tend to do. I remember also there was a spate of crooners over here in this country who sang, because they felt it obligatory, with an American sound, but every now and again they would let themselves down and lapse back. I can't sing very well, but it goes like, some enchanted evening, you will see a stranger, you will see a stranger across the crowded road. That's an exaggeration, obviously, but...
Yeah. Australians do that in a way when they sing, and did it my way. They tell me that I saw a Parkinson show, Michael Parkinson show that you did, and in it he showed some offcuts from the Pink Panther films. And you giggle all the time on this set. Are you a compulsive giggler?
Well, I think that on those films, those particular films, I mean, it's just up for grabs. I mean, if the director's a breakup artist,
Yeah.
and I'm a bit of a breakup artist myself, if I see the scene from the outside for a moment, I'm gone. And he's the same, and I've been on several movies with him, including The Party. I don't know if you ever saw that. In which we had to leave the studio and drive around Hollywood for about an hour trying to stop this hysteria that was building up inside.
There isn't anything
and that
worse
happens
than
on a lot of the Panthers.
there
Sorry.
is- I was just going to say, there isn't anything worse than that, because no matter if people tell you to stop laughing, it gets even worse, doesn't it?
The worst thing that anyone can say to you is don't laugh. You mustn't. Those very intense people say, now, let's not have any laughing during this because we're making a comedy.
Yes.
You get it. Okay, I start laughing before we start the take. I can't do it.